Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the Penny Lane necklace. Now today I'm working with elements from Nunn Design, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a mixed metal here. So I have some silver, some gold, and my main focus is going to be this beautiful antique copper. So I have some Nunn Design chain and some jump rings and a lobster clasp. So really simple, but it's going to have a really lovely impact. All right, so the tools that we're going to need here is I have 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and I have a pair of flush cutters. So let's go ahead and get started. So the design is going to be with all 3 of these little flags hanging from the bottom. So what I need to do first is determine the length that I want my chain and go ahead and cut that to size. Now I have 2 feet here and I think that's going to be a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is bring in my ruler here. And I'm just going to measure 18 inches because that's about what I want for my necklace. And actually, there is 12. And as I get to 6 inches here, I'm actually going to do 5.5 because I want an 18-inch necklace, but I have to accommodate for that little lobster clasp there. So I'm going to come in with my flush cutters and just trim off just by going right across and separating that. All right, so now I can separate my little scrap. I can use that maybe for a bracelet later. So now I have 18 inches. So the most important thing now is to find the center point. Now you can either do this, you can do this one of 2 ways. I'm going to show you the first way here, which is just kind of matching that up and bringing it down here to the bottom. Or what we can do is we can kind of cheat a little bit and let's go ahead and finish our necklace before we start it. So come in with those jump rings and we're just going to open up one jump ring here and slip it onto one end. And then we're going to slip on our little lobster clasp there. Okay, so we have that. And that's done. And then we can come to this side, open up our jump ring, and slip it on to this last link here. And go ahead and close that up. So now what we can do, it might make it a little bit easier to kind of hold it in your fingers, is let's go ahead and close our necklace. And now we have a nice little anchor that we can hold the lobster clasp with to find that center point. All right, so all the way down to the center there. Just get some of this out of the way. There we go. So now what I want to do is we're going to be working with those 4 in the center, just like so. So now come in with your jump rings one more time. And this is a really simple design because we're just going to be attaching with jump rings. And go ahead and slip that on. And we want to make sure that the seam is going to come to the back. So this is the back and this is the front. They actually look very similar. So if you end up kind of flipping it around, you're still going to be okay. But just we want to keep all of our seams on the back of the necklace there. All right, let me just make sure I got my right spot here. Okay, so now eyeball which one that was. There we go. And slide that on. So now I'm just sliding on a link in the chain. Here, let me get my fingers out of the way so you can see. And I lost my spot. Hold on. There we go. All right. So I can come in and slide it on. And now just come in and close up that jump ring. Nice and tight. We don't want to lose our pieces. Okay. So I've attached it to the one side there. So now I can kind of separate it out this way so we have that nice center point. Now what I recommend you do is count over 3 of the forward facing links. So these links are going to be sitting just like that. So we have it attached to this one here. So I'm going to go 1 and then jump over 2 and jump over 3. So this is where I need to connect my next piece. Now once you have that first part on, go ahead and open up your next jump ring there. And what I recommend is actually trying to attach it to the chain first. That way you know exactly which link you're working with. And then you can come in and swoop in and grab that little piece there. All right, and make sure we're twisted there properly. There we go. And go ahead and close that up. And these are oval jump rings. So there we go. All right. Sorry about the little bump of the camera there. Okay, so just testing out that is indeed in the center there, and that looks good for me. All right, so now that we have our piece ready to go, we can decide how far we want the other pieces. Now you can do them really close. You can space them out just a little bit. It's entirely up to you. I'm gonna space mine just a wee bit. All right, and again, I just wanna make sure that those jump rings rotate to the back so we get that nice sleek look on the front. Okay, so now that we have that done, let's go ahead and continue. And just open up this jump ring here. And I'm going to slide it on. And now I want to leave a nice, decent little space there. So I'm going to keep with the 3s. So I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to come to that 4th one there and slide that on. Now you can adjust this to be however you want. You can also use different colored jump rings, or you can also, if you didn't want the copper chain, you could do a gold chain or a silver chain and it would look just fine, just the same. All right, and let's go ahead and open this other jump ring, and we're just gonna repeat that. Now let's see if it's easier if I go through this one first. All right, so remember we wanted to count over 3. 1, 2, and 3. Just kind of slip it down through there. There we go. That was actually a bit easier. And again, sometimes with these really thick, heavy gauge jump rings, you just kind of have to wiggle it. Don't overwork your jump rings. That's a big thing that I've seen happen where people will kind of lose their jump rings, so we don't want that to happen. Okay, so now we need to match where we put the gold one on the other side. So slip that on, and remember we did 3 open, so now we have to come here and count 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go on to this 4th one here. So I've got it in my fingers. I can slip it on there. Sometimes it's easier to do it with your fingers. Sometimes it helps to pick up your pliers and kind of help them hold. There we go. Just making sure it's in the right one. Always double check, because the less you open and close your jump rings, the better it will be in the long run. You'll just have a little bit more security in your designs. All right, so we have one more jump ring, and because we already did the clasp portion, this will be the last piece of our puzzle here today. Let's go ahead and slip that guy on. And again, coming in, making sure we're catching the right one there. And I went one too far. I was like, that doesn't feel right. There we go. One more over. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. I'm just triple checking, making sure I'm doing it right. Okay. And closing that up. All right, so now we have our necklace that's finished, and it's a nice little easy kind of piece that you can design here, and feel free to, you can embellish it, you can add extra beads or gemstones or whatever you want, but this is a really simple design. It's a great way to use the mixed metals from Nunn Design. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can get all of these supplies and see even more tutorial videos by heading over to Beadaholique.com.